Good morning, everybody. I'm Admiral Jim Stavridis, Supreme Allied Commander Europe and Commander of U.S. European Command. I wanted to take just a minute and update you on something called the Munich Security Conference. It's a very interesting gathering. It always happens on the first weekend in February, every year in Munich, Germany. And it is really like the Oscars for international security. You'll be walking down a corridor in this old 18th century hotel, turn the corner and you'll see President Hamid Karzai of Afghanistan. You'll turn the next corner and see Senator John McCain, the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Secretary Hillary Clinton. You'll see Chancellor Angela Merkel of Germany, Prime Minister David Cameron of the United Kingdom, on and on and on. All the world leaders coming together, only about 300 people, to focus on the global security picture. I was privileged to be able to attend this year, and I had a chance to not only listen to many great speakers, but also to participate in a panel on Afghanistan. The panel on Afghanistan was superb. It was led by Nick Gowing, who's a very famous correspondent for the BBC, known extremely well in Europe, and the panelists were Dr. Spanta, who's the National Security Advisor of Afghanistan, Michelle Flournoy, the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy in the Pentagon, myself, Radovan Sikorski, the Foreign Minister of Poland, and Senator Joe Lieberman, a very well-known defense thinker and, of course, a member of the U.S. Senate and the Senate Armed Services Committee. Together we had a chance to explore how we're doing in Afghanistan, and it followed a speech by President Karzai. So it was a superb panel. We looked at progress in Afghanistan, and I had a chance to talk about all the good work, particularly down south in Afghanistan, in Helmand and Kandahar, where we're making steady progress and pushing back the insurgency in its heartland. That's critically important. And I believe, although these gains that we have made are fragile and they are potentially reversible, I have cautious optimism that we're moving in the right direction. I was also able to talk about the good work of the Afghan security forces. The Afghan Army today has an approval rating in Afghanistan of 90%. The police have an approval rating of 70%. There are 270,000 Afghan police and army today, and we're continuing to build those numbers. That's important because we're going to transition combat and security operations to the Afghan security forces by 2014, and that process is starting this year. We talked all about that at the Munich Security Conference. There were other gatherings and conferences that were part of this group, to include talk about missile defense, about cyber, about the relations of NATO and the European Union. There were superb speeches from world leaders. It was a real privilege to be there. I just wanted to give you a quick snapshot of it, and if you're interested, you can read a little more about it in my blog at ucom.mil. So thanks for taking a minute to hear about the Munich Security Conference. It was a fascinating experience, and I'm convinced we talked a lot about positive progress in Afghanistan. Thank you.